Ernest the Cat Miller. I don't got a bunch of stories on Ernest, but the best one I've got, and it's a pretty good one, we were in an angle together, and Ernest, somehow or another, I was doing things where I was dressing up like guys. I had dressed up like Scott Steiner, and it went over really well. It was really good. Scotty hated it, but it was really good TV. And Ernest somehow okayed me to dress up like him and go out on an interview. So we had a Sonny Ono look-alike, and we had a Marcus Bagwell dressed up like Ernest the Cat Miller. I had the skull cap on where I was bald-headed. I had the suit. I had the red shoes on, the whole 9 yards. And again, we had the approval from Ernest to do this. And keep in mind, you don't go on TV unless they tell you to. So here we are. I'm a segment on Monday Night Nitro, and we go out on the segment, and I do the segment where, where's your mama? Where's my mama? And I got the red shoes, and I'm clicking them 3 times, and we was in Rochester, Illinois, and I was like, I want to be somewhere. I want to be somewhere. And I go, damn, I'm still in Rochester. So it was a really good segment. It turned out, we thought, fantastic. I come backstage, and Ernest shakes my hand and tells me what a great job it was and all that. And this is setting up for Road Wild in Sturgis, South Dakota. So I get to Sturgis, South Dakota, and I do what I'm supposed to do all the way through, which is I was putting Ernest over. He'd come out and beat me up. He'd come out and beat me up another week. And finally, as a heel, I went out and got back on him from, making fun of him. But at the end of that segment, he came out and beat me up again. Well, the pay-per-view, the heel always wins. That way, to keep the angle going or whatever. You don't let him beat you for 3 weeks and then lose. So it was known going into the pay-per-view that Buff Bagwell was going to win the match. So we get to the pay-per-view, and a agent walks up, and I think it's Mike Graham or Greg Gagne, and he goes, hey, we're thinking about changing the match to having Ernest win and continue in the angle. Now, instantly what I felt was like, there's no reason to do this. Why? We're not popular enough to continue this angle. This angle isn't Macho Man and Hogan. This ain't Hogan and the Giant. This ain't Luger and Sting. This is Ernest Miller and Buff Bagwell. Great match, great part of the card, but we're not top tier talents to carry this to another pay-per-view. So I say, guys, and I say that to the agent, and I said, this is unnecessary. We're not popular enough for that. So the agent leaves, and they come back with 3 agents. And I'm like, oh my, and they try to talk me into it again. And I said, guys, come on, man. I don't want to do, I'm trying to be nice. I'm at catering, eating by myself. And finally, it's like 6 of the agents and Ernest come out. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I'm not getting mad. I'm mad now. So as they sit down, they're still trying to explain to me why this is a good idea. And I said, look, guys, and now I'm telling it with a little bit of an edge. I said, look, I don't want to do this. This is unnecessary. And as I'm explaining it for the 3rd or 4th time, Ernest says, don't be talking down on me, is what he was going to try to say. And as he started to say that, he goes, don't be talking. And right when he said that, whap, I slapped him. And as soon as I slapped him, I realized, oh my God, you've just slapped a world champion, karate champion. What have you done? So, but I was mad, and here he come. Kick. And I'm not about to fight Ernest Miller. I'm not about to get my teeth knocked down my throat. So I waist lock Ernest. We go into the gravel. My elbows get chewed up in the gravel, and I calm him down, and they get us up and they break us up. We've just gotten into a real fight, and now we got to go out and fake wrestle. So Eric calls us to his room, which was a mobile home, and it was his office. And in the mobile home, he starts cussing us. What are y'all doing? I can't believe that. So finally, once he hears the story, he's like, wait a minute. What's going on, Ernest? And Ernest goes, I'm still mad about him dressing up like me. And Eric goes, are you kidding me? Because you okayed that, Ernest. You okayed for Buff to do that. And he goes, yeah, but I didn't know he was going to do it that good. And Eric Bischoff goes, brother, did you think Bagwell was going to mess it up? He goes, come on, man. He goes, and then Eric gets mad. He goes, Ernest, get your stuff on. You get your ass out there to that ring, and you take that blockbuster 1, 2, 3. And I can't help but outside I wasn't showing it, but inside, I'm going, thank God somebody's taking up for me for a change. I didn't do anything wrong here. So with bleeding elbows, with egos at their highest, with temper at their highest, we've got to shake hands and go wrestle in a match. So I remember coming out to the ring, my elbows were dripping blood. And we circle in the ring with Ernest, and right when you lock up with the guys, when you know whether it's going to be a night off or whether it's going to be, oh boy, this is not going to go so good. And we locked up, and I could tell Ernest was going to work with me. So we had a decent match, elbows bleeding. After the match, I get the blockbuster 1, 2, 3. I call my dad, and he goes, why were your elbows bleeding on the way to the ring? And I explained, I said, Dad, I got in a fight with Ernest before we had to go wrestle. And he goes, you've got to be kidding. I go, no. So that is my Ernest Miller story. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button to stay in the loop for all future videos. And if you're interested in cool NWO shirts like this one right here or other wrestling sports merch, click the link at the top of your screen or in the description of this video to jump over to Fanatics and place your order today.